wind the power up. Transponder seems to have got busy again all of a sudden. Good to see a few around. So far I have G0MJW, Mike, GI4DOH, Richard, and Russ, G4SAQ. And hopefully, can we tempt Charles, G4GUO, onto the air, I wonder? That would be good. Let's just turn the volume down on this. I've got too many receivers running. Yeah, good. Okay. So G4GUO on the end of the list. Quite a few watching. Good evening, Tim, Phil, Gareth, and who's lurking on the stream? Oh gosh, Claudio, Keith, Chris G4AYT, David G4EV, loads of people on the stream. So good to see you all. Right, and G7JTT on the end of the list there as well, G4FKK as well. Okay, this evening's announcement, we've been working on bringing CAT 22. You're on first, Mike. We've been working on sorting out CAT 22 for you, and we think we've finally come up with a solution. We have booked the Midland Air Museum at Coventry for Sunday, August. So CAT 22 and the BATC general meeting, which we need to have, will be on Sunday the 7th of August at the Midland Air Museum at Coventry. Doors will open at 10 o'clock on that day, and the BGM we think will hold about 11:30. But throughout the day there'll be a bring and buy, fix it, show and tell, very much like last year. The night before we hope to have a dinner in the Old Mill Hotel at Baginton, just an informal get together for everybody. A warning, you probably need to book early. The Commonwealth Games are on in Birmingham, and then there's the International Children's Games on in Coventry, as far as I can tell, in August. So hotels are an issue, and that's why we have chosen the 7th of August, as that seems to be the clearest day. But I book a hotel for the 6th. But that is this evening's announcement. It'll go on the forum later. And some of you will have had advance notice as well. Phil, I see, has got the Dunstable Downs rally on the 22nd of May. I'm really pleased to see that's going ahead, Phil, at Luton. So that's more good news this evening. So without further ado, I'll put it round to Mike, G0MJW, then it'll be round to Richard, GI4DOH, and then Russ, G4SAQ, and I will put the rest of the list up on the chat. G0MJW to take it, G8GKQ.
Okay. I really hate Windows. Microsoft, someone, it did an update again and it changed all the audio devices, and of course it disabled it. Luckily I spotted it. So everyone go and check your audio devices. Windows did its update on Tuesday. It's made a mess of everything. The incompetent programmers, yes, I'm talking about you if you're a Microsoft programmer, keep causing all sorts of problems. Anyway, back to more interesting things. Let's see. I'm not quite ready to show a lot of things. I was going to show this. I don't know if you can see that. Has it come across? Yeah, it has. So made a little bit of progress with the amplifier board and its controller. So as you can see, it's now operating the power meters. That's not real. I'm driving it from a signal generator to give you the idea that it's working, but it's not. But it's making progress. I only need to do the protection stuff and the PTT, and I think I'm going to redo the way I handle the buttons. At the moment, I'm using an interrupt driver, and I think that's probably not the best thing to do. So, I've got to think about how I might do that without using interrupts. You can see there's a mess of cables there. Underneath it is the wireless receiver that I have also built. Can't quite see it from that angle. I might show it from the other angle later on. But the other thing I wanted to show, and I can't remember because my memory is terrible these days, is the thing that I did with the mill. So you may remember I spoke last week about this mill that I'd got. So if we go over to here, to the bench camera, and I go and move a few things about, because I didn't quite get it organised in time. There we go. So that's what I milled with that little mill. Took a while, but did the job. Here's the radio thing, by the way. It's very small, and a whole load of boards that nobody seems interested in. The audio would have been quiet there because I was away from the microphone. But if I now get the Polycom to look in the other direction, let me just turn it around. It should come past me in a second. It's going very slowly because I'm on full zoom. There we go. This is the device in question, and I've made a few modifications to it, including a waste board and end stops. But that was the one. Very, very cheap mill that seems to be capable of milling die-cast aluminium. Whether that's actually going to be any use, I think we have to determine, but it's something anyway. So there you go. I was thinking about demonstrating it moving, but it makes quite a bit of noise when it's got the spindle on, so I don't know, maybe on the next over. Right, with that, oh, I'm not showing it, am I? Sorry. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. You didn't see the shaky camera, you saw the Benz camera, but never mind. Right, back onto me, and who am I supposed to pass it to? Wrong Polycom, yes, thank you, Martin. Why didn't you tell me that before I used the wrong Polycom? GI4DOH, it's round to you, Richard. G0MJW.
G0MJW of the group GI4DOH. Totally unprepared, and am I there? Yes, I got audio. The same thing. The laptop downstairs decided it wanted to do a restart because of Windows updates earlier, and that set me behind because I wanted to transfer a couple of files across, which I didn't get done. But yeah, it's very impressive, the milling there. Mike, again, I've got too many things on my plate at the moment. 3D printing, for one of today's jobs, a very low noise preamp for 23 centimeters. It shouldn't have been difficult to make a little bracket to mount it on top of the feeder. The hole is exactly 1 centimeter out, and that's because I made a mistake in adjusting it the wrong way. In fact, the idea is there will be mounted on top of that a little coax relay. It's all part of the AME stuff, which is taking up a lot of my my time at the moment. But getting there. I got some decodes on 23 centimeters over the yesterday and the day before. I didn't connect up the feed today because I want to get all your things done on the transmit side and trying to reduce the number of distractions. And I needed to get to a well-known supermarket to get some food in the house, as I'd emptied the freezer in the last couple of days with the excitement on the AME stuff. So that's exciting news about the Cat 22, and I'll get on to see if I can get accommodation booked before the night's out, and see if I can tie that in with seeing my daughter in Birmingham. That's quite convenient, and all the rest. I'm booked up for the GMDX convention in Stirling at the start of, where are we now? We're probably start of April, and then Friedrichshafen booked for Friedrichshafen. Hopefully that'll be going ahead, and just have to get back to normal. I suppose it's the way things are going. It's getting the mindset to actually go out of the house. And actually, you can go out of the house at the moment. You aren't obliged to stay at home. So we need to get my brain in gear for that and get out and about a bit, and get further than the dish out in the garden for the ME stuff. So enough waffle from me. I was going to put up a couple of photographs of what I've been up to, but I haven't got them transferred yet. Dropbox decided I needed to update the app before it would upload pictures for me. You know, so you get for leaving things to the last minute. So it's round to Russ, I believe, G4 SAQ with the BATC group. This is GI4DOH.
Yeah, GI4DOH and the group G4SAQ. Just got to sort my sound out. Okay. Very good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all on the net tonight. And thanks for the news about Cat 22, Dave. That's good. I'll have a look at the calendar as soon as the net's finished and see if I can come. I managed to make it last year, first time I've been to a Cat, and thoroughly enjoyed it, so I'd like to come again if I can. It looks as though my video's a bit jerky. I don't know why. Let's just see. I don't know what's gone wrong. Let's see if the audio's still working. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know what's gone wrong with that. Okay, well I won't hold it long. Bearing in mind it's gone jerky. I'll do a restart and try again. I wanted to say, Mike, really nice 3D printing. Not 3D printing, nice milling. Sorry, on that panel. That looked really smart, really professional. And yeah, Richard, your 3D printing for your amplifier and the associated relays, very nice too. I don't do any of that at the moment. Because of the problems, I'm going to put it straight over to Charles. I'm sorry if you're being a bit rushed by this, Charles, but I need to sort out my video if I can and get it working properly. Oh, I would just add that I, having upgraded to Windows 11 and thinking that it was all right, I had all sorts of problems with the audio, and I've gone back to Windows 10 now, and it was working perfectly before this transmission. So there we are, the gremlins have been out and got me. So I'll put up a test card and then I'll drop carrier. So it's G4GUO to take it from G4SAQ in the group.
Right, just check I've got some audio. Right, just check I've got some audio. And we'll switch the camera on. And we'll switch the camera on. And turn the audio on the mini tuner off. Right, okay. Thanks there, Russ. And sorry, your audio was perfectly okay with me. And the picture was sort of, but the audio was fine. So it was not too much a problem. I could understand you. And okay on the cat. Yeah, I don't think I'll be going. I don't think the battery in my EV will take me that far. So I think I'll give that a miss. Not much to report. I thought I'd put a show in today. The amplifier. I've got to go and turn everything off in the on in the shed to actually come on. So what have I been doing? Well, I did a bit move to the dark side slightly and built myself a Morse tutor for a bit of fun. It took about half an hour to build. I haven't built a kit in ages. And about the only other thing, I know I mentioned this on Twitter, but I've got, hold on, got to move the mini tune display. I've got a mention in QST magazine for some software I wrote 20 years ago. It receives HF transmissions from aircraft, a system called HFDL. They transmit their location and stuff like that, and the sort of ACARS type traffic as well. And because propagation is picking up again, of course, suddenly you'll be able to pick signals up from all over the world. So people have got interested in it again. So that's a bit of fun. The only other thing I've really been doing the last few days is thinking about what how I'm going to get on HF digital TV, whether to go for the OFDM or to try transmitting the digital video over one of the military modes, the mil standard. I think it's 188.110D now is the latest one, because I know the UK military have been doing some, well, not so much the UK military, the MOD have been doing some tests with video links around 7 or 8 megs using that system. And I've got someone that supports software I wrote ages ago in the States for the military affiliated radio service, the automatic link establishment software. I wrote the stuff. I actually did it originally as a demo for the company I was working for, and then when I left, I did extra work on the software and released it into the public domain, and it was taken up by this organisation in the States, and the guy has done an awful lot of work on it, and he's thinking of having a go at the high-speed modems. He's trying to get me interested in it because he's a software engineer, yeah, but he doesn't have the mathematical background, and there's an awful lot of maths in equalizing an HF channel. So he's trying to get me interested in it. So we'll see what happens on that. Right, I think that's about all I've got to say for now. Nothing much else going on in the shack here. No other projects hanging about. So let's hand it over to John next, G7JTT. I'll just try and get coordinated and transfer the test card. Yeah, right, that's up, and bring up my SHH window and switch the transmitter off. It's all very
Right, let's just make sure we get some audio. There we go. Right, okay, good evening all. It's been quite interesting already, to be honest. I have had a few days off. Hardly left the shack, to be honest, other than going to the garden, move things around or reinstall things or whatever. But anyway, it's interesting what you just said there, Charles, because I've actually been playing over the past day or so with a loop on ground, and I am super impressed with it. I live in a very noisy, well, I live semi-rural. It shouldn't be as noisy as it is, but unfortunately, all my neighbours are working from home, and one neighbour in particular seems to have every single gadget you can think of that produces noise. I've actually, was it today or yesterday, one day this week anyway, I've actually had the electric off in my house for a good couple of hours while I go around trying to figure out where this noise is coming from, and it's all pointing towards their garage. So I think there's some charging unit or something they've got in there. But anyway, I'll deal with that some other way. That's not to me. Sorry, the loop on ground. It's 15 foot by 15 foot by 15, so 15 foot square basically. A 9-to-1 balun, which I cheated. On eBay, there was a guy selling the Chinese knockoff of the Nolec type things for £7 delivered. By the time I bought the coil and stuff, it would cost me more than that. So I got one of those, got it the next day, which was fantastic. And I say it's working an absolute treat. Now, during the day, I've been listening. I've literally, it's been like back to the old, like we were talking the other week when I was on, back to the childhood times of just scanning around the HF bands, looking for weird and wonderful signals, and boy did I find lots. But I also came across some old voices. So I actually heard John, G8MMY, on 80 meters on a couple of days. So he seems to be fair regular on there. There are shed loads of military signals around all over the place. In fact, I actually saw one up as high as 27 megahertz between the EU 40 and the UK 40, which was quite bizarre. But anyway, that was that. Lots of over-the-horizon radar and an enormous amount of CW, encoded, but it's CW, which surprised me, to be honest. But anyway, the band seemed really alive. The amateur bands, I've heard people this evening on 160, which are currently on main radio. 80's been alive. Most of the bands, even the top, up to 24 mids, haven't heard much on 28, but certainly 24, 21, 18, 10, etc. They've all been fairly busy during the day, so it's been quite nice. Now, I just want to, if I can do this properly, I'm hoping that the notch filter's working. If it isn't, I apologise. I need to go to that. Now, one of the things that you find on there, I believe this isn't a proper signal. I think this is possibly HDMI interference again. But for you, I know everyone likes their train videos. Well, this kind of sounds a bit like either a pump engine or a steam engine or something like that. But I've taken the centre bit out, so you shouldn't get the high-pitched squeal. So let's just see if this works. I'll shut up when it comes over, and I won't leave it on for long anyway. Laugh a little bit louder, isn't it? But you can hear that. It's a very weird noise. But anyway, let's get back to me. So anyway, that's what I've been playing all day, and it's kept me busy. So got nothing I was supposed to have got done. But anyway, that's life, isn't it? Right, I've been waffling. I've got one of our ask at the next time. So for the next one, it's mine, G4FKK, G7JTT.
Yep, G7JTT, G4FKK returning. Yeah, nice signal again this evening, John. And yeah, very interested in your HF exploits. I've been meaning to try one of those loops on the ground for ages. In fact, I saw that there was an article in Radcom some months ago, I suspect, because the noise isn't as bad here as it has been in the last 5 years or so. But it's, yeah, when I first moved in here, I had no noise at all on any band really. So that's 80 metres. It's a bit groggy. Anyway, very good evening all, and looking forward to Cat, Dave. I think I've managed to book the hotel, your favourite one. So I think I've got through on that. So that's good. And yeah, the amp board's looking very psychedelic and very disco mic. So that's rather good. And yeah, the milling machine. I don't care how long that takes. That looks good, and it's worth the machine doing it rather than me spending hours filing out square holes. Richard, good evening to you. Yes, I got the Windows update the other day. In fact, my second computer is prompting me to do that as well. So I let the main computer do it. And touch wood, I haven't noticed anything's changed yet. So, but that's probably because I've got it set up wrong anyway. Russ, that was a good picture, but it was just a bit almost slow scan as it flicked from frame to frame. So I imagine a reboot will fix that. I think you said you'd gone back to Windows 10. If you did say that, I didn't hear the reason, but be interested in that. And Charles, great to see you on this evening, and well done on the Morse tutor. Are you actually going to learn Morse? That'd be good. And I'm very happy to do some slow Morse transmissions if you like, or even fast ones. Although I suspect you've probably got some gadget you're building to decode that. HFDA TV. Well, I've configured my version of Mike's transverter. Well, it's Mike's version of his transverter, but my version, my construction of it, configured that for 10 meters at the moment because we're all very excited about working some DX on 10. But your military spec sounds quite interesting too. And John, did I hear a 30 hertz tone on your test card? I'm not sure if I did. I think Mike's got a trademark on that. You might not be allowed to do that. Make it 32 hertz and you'll be fine. Glad you've had a few days off as well. And yeah, John, the MNY, he's on 80, I think, every day pretty much. And he's also on top band on a Sunday morning at 9:30 on the Surrey Radio Contact Club Sunday Morning Net. Well, I've not been doing a great deal radio-wise. I have actually been trying... I need to get the lighting in here sorted out because the lighting on this Polycom's not very good. And this is my other HD camera. It's not a Polycom, it's a Sony, I think. But That looks a bit gloomy as well. It's actually very well, it's very brightly lit in here, but obviously don't know how to do lighting. But what I have been doing is, if I grab that one, is I've been clearing a bit of space on the bench, because tomorrow I've got a broken FT817 appearing from the Lake District. So I've got my FT817 out to make sure I know how they work. So I've cleared a lot of the clocks and watches and things off the bench, with a view to having a look at the broken FT817. But that's about it, really. So it's I believe it's round to David next, M0YDH. Be good to see you again, David, and I will put it round to you when I find a test card for queuing up purposes. M0YDH and the BATC Net, G4FKK standing by.
Do we have audio? Yes, add a mute button that works. Brilliant. What you can do with the thing. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Martin, for the welcome. I wasn't going to transmit, but Mr. KQ asked me nicely. Often, because I'm not very productive in the amateur radio arena. Although my CD rack has squeezed in to a space in the living room, and 60 CDs that were cluttering up have fitted in, so she's thrilled with that. It's good. What I was doing and have been doing is a 60 fire, and I've had a lot of help from Jim G7NTG. We will pick up the PiCam, and I haven't got a tray mod. This is working very well. This is my my Ryde, round past a bit of me and down on the ground. Slowly, let's line it up a bit. It does. This is a sad thing here. The black box is a very sad thing. That was a Portsdown 2019 until my test probes, when measuring the voltage on the GPIO pin, shorted it all out and it went foot, as did the little screen on the front. So instruction. I've got an LDMOS Right, I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. Am I back? Right. Yeah, there we go. Bit more oomph. Thanks very much. Well, it cut out here. That's very nice. Yeah, I got a little SP 5189 thing that you get for a couple of quid off that. There's one of these if I get it in shot, to wait for it to turn up. Here it is. One of these little boards that reappeared on eBay that are about 12 quid that give you a very, very good low power rate bandpass filter for 23 cents. That'll go in at the input. And then there's the G8 BAO driver amp, and that turns 1.6 milliwatts with this thing into something like 40 watts, but it draws 11 amps. I don't know. I think I'm going to be transmitting with my two big batteries for about 5 minutes, and then I'll have to go home. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, and that is hopefully a good. Radcom February 2017 was the DC-DC converter and filters for this very amplifier. So I built that, and it seems to work. I'll pop this back on the table. So that's what I've been up to. So still a bit basic in here. I haven't yet migrated to the world of studios and polygons, and I'm just holding out for the last guy who's using a bare port stone. Okay, who is it next? I was going to ask, is it okay to put the 100 milliamp draw of the little driver amp direct through the opto isolators in the Portsdown BAM decode board? That's what I wanted to know. It's the governor's next. Stand by your beds, right? Okay. G8 GKQ. This is M0YDH and the group. I'll just raise my hand.
M0YDH and the group. G8 GKQ. Let's kill that. That's good. Thank you, David. Current through the opto isolators, 100 milliamps. I think is probably pushing it, but I would need to look at the data sheet. I would suggest not. I would put something else in there. And a comment to John G4BAO would probably be quite upset about being called a G8. And on that vein, questioning whether Charles could do more. He'd have taken the test, unlike me. I don't know, I was questioning that. Anyway, for those who may have joined since the start of... Oh, hang on. Is that not enough audio then, Noel? Is that not enough audio, Noel? For those who may have joined since the start, bit low. Okay, I shall wind it up a little bit. There we go. How about a bit of that? The announcement this evening is that the CAT 22 and the BGM will be at the and the general meeting will be at the Midland Air Museum on Sunday, the 7th of August. And hotel rooms are a little bit tight in the area throughout August, but the 7th was the best date. The 6th was the best date for hotel rooms, so that's why we're going for the 7th for the BGM. Full details will go on the forum later. I did just check, and there were how many rooms left? I think it was 9 rooms left just now. So get on and book. I forgot to mention earlier that this weekend is an activity weekend for 1, 4, 6 and 23. I hope to get out tomorrow afternoon on a high point somewhere near Salisbury, and I think Noel is going out possibly to Albury Hill. Rob M0DTS will be out on the North York moors, so there will be some activity tomorrow on 146, perhaps 70, and on 23. What have I been up to? I'll show you this. My main activity has been a bit of software. Let's see if we can get that in the picture. This is the hardware associated with the software, which is a Raspberry Pi 4, the new BATC ATV repeater controller. It's ports down for a Raspberry Pi 4, got ports down on the brain, in the heatsink case there, and I've been doing a bit of mechanical work, which is why it isn't wired up. At the back end here you've got a network lead that goes to the back panel. I'm just sorting out other back panel connectivity at the moment, so that that's a decent test item. But I released the beta release of the BATC ATV repeater software onto the BATC GitHub site yesterday. So if anybody wants to look at that, they're welcome. It's got most of the features in it now. There's just a few loose ends to tie up, and of course feature creep. We're looking at controlling some of the MacGuffin boards, the I2C boards. I'm glad the Morse ident works, Noel. That's good. It's got an automatic Morse ident on it, and you don't even have to program it. You just tell it the call sign and it does it. Before I forget, David G8VZT, if you are watching, I would like you to transmit next if you can. I know you don't have internet, but if you'd like to come up next, Mike G0MJW, if you can leave a pause to see if David G8VZT will transmit. Activity weekend, I should be going out. Sorry, that's not tomorrow, that's Saturday. Tomorrow's 122 gigs, as Noel says. RSB GB construction competition, David mentioned it. They are accepting online entries only for the RSGB construction competition, and the deadline is the end of the month. It would be good to see a lot of ports downs, rides, anything you've done TV-wise in that construction competition. Let's show them what we're doing rather than just sit here and just talk to ourselves. And get those published in Radcom. So please put in an entry to the RSGB construction competition, whatever it is. Mike, that milling machine is very tempting, because my efforts at front panels are probably not as neat as they might be. Russ, your video, it looked like your computer might be doing a Windows update at the same time. The video coding just was giving you a frame every refresh every half second, but the audio is perfect and really good to see you on. Yeah, Charles, military video. Yeah, about 15 years ago, I remember playing. I was the user of a system trying to get video through a 0.5 meg of bandwidth, and they were having awful problems. And we make it seem so easy now, but I think we've got some better computing capability. John, the loop on the ground sounds good, and glad that you've heard from John GLMNY. He and I used to do analog TV many years ago, and I know he's had health problems recently, so it's really good to hear that he's very active. Okay, I've waffled enough. I would like G8VZT to take it next if he is still with us. If not, G0MJW from G8GKQ.
Okay, well, I didn't hear anything or see anything, and I don't appear to be doubling, so I suspect he's not going to come up. And all very interesting so far. Yeah, I managed to book the hotel room. A bit pricey though, aren't they? So I suppose it's the time of year. But there's something else. It's my mother's birthday that week, so I need to be up in Bolton for that. So I'll be coming back down from Bolton, and I guess I could do that on the way. So there we go. Right. What happened there? Somebody came up next to me. Quite a strong signal. Anyway, I seem to be getting out. So what I'll do is I will show you this thing again, and we will risk a live demo, which is always risky. So here we go. Don't know if you can see that. Now that's the mill all set up. It's actually going to write something in the air because I haven't turned on the spindle. I haven't put it down to the ground level. So anyway, what you have is you have software, and here is an example of the software, and I'm trying to get it to do to write BATC. So what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to speed it up a bit because I noticed it was going a bit slowly. So I need to decide what the maximum z-axis speed is and x and y-axis speed is. It's currently 100. So Roger will be very familiar with all this. I had no clue most of the time. It's going to go twice as fast as it was going before. So that is the x-axis, and that is the y-axis. With a bit of luck it'll go quicker now. And I'll set it off and then I'll switch to the other camera so you'll see what happens. You probably see that starting to move. And here we go. So it's now writing BATC in mid-air. It's done the B. It's now doing the A. You have to go this sort of speed when you're doing it in aluminium. You can go faster. Of course, what's not happening at the moment is the motor isn't running. And I'm not running that deliberately because it's rather noisy. But I'll show you that in a minute. That's the sort of speed I had to go to cut the die-cast aluminium. And I put a milling cutter in it and ran it as fast as it would go in terms of the spindle speed, and it produced a reasonably good result. So at the moment, let's go back to the, you can see that working. That's where it's got to now. It's done the B and it's now working on the A. It's done a T and it's now going over to the C. So that's what goes on. But at the risk of boring everyone watching paint not dry because it's not doing anything, I will stop that now. I think the only other thing that is useful is understanding how you start the motor. It took me a long time to work this out, but it's something like the command would be you have to set the motor and you have to set the speed. So something like this command, which you can't see because I'm showing you the motor, and you can probably hear rather than see that started the motor and that's stopped it again. So you can do all this from the keyboard, and this software, Universal G-Code Sender, is easy to use, but it's a little bit crude, but it's fine for doing front panels and that sort of thing. Right, where's my picture of myself gone again? There it is. That's better. So that's what I was up to. I did all that last weekend, yes. Right, Noel, let me know about PCBs because I see Keith wants one, and others might, but they tend to want to get them from the shop. I don't think there's anything else of particular note. I didn't have time to write any notes down, so I think it's time to pass it on or back on to Richard and talk about the various other things I've been building later on. The only other thing is the Polycom that was being criticised. they work really well actually, but they can be tricky to drive. And the other thing is they do like to have good lighting. They will work without particularly good lighting, but it does really help. This is what they look like. This is the Polycom camera. This is the other one, which is not doing anything. And if I go down here, this is what the unit looks like. So I've got the HGX 8000, which receives which has two cameras, and below it is the old 7000. Oh, you can't see it because there's a box in the way. But on the floor is a 7000, which is I'm keeping in reserve. These are relatively cheap. The thing that's expensive is the cable. The cameras are cheap, the boxes are cheap, and the bit that's expensive is the cable to connect the camera to the box. Right, with that, it's round to Richard. Sorry for waffling on. So, GI4 DOH, G0 MJW.
G0MJW with the group GI4DOH. Waiting, yes, there I am. Yep, yeah, fine and all that. Yes, cables, they're not cheap. They just got a length of, what did I get? Can't even remember now. Mine's gone a blank. The 400 Ultraflex, I'm trying to remember it's LMR, getting confused with the LDS and the rest of the LMR 400 Ultraflex. I just got an 8-meter length of that to go out to the satellite dish in an attempt to minimize losses and all the rest. And it wasn't cheap, but then to buy a 100-meter roll of it, connectors, and be able to do a decent job of putting the connectors on the end, I just bit the bullet on that, and it arrived 24 hours later, which is pretty good. Some notes. Martin, if you can hear a 30 hertz tone, your hearing is better than mine. I'm hard pushed to hear men hum these days, and it's not going to get any better as I get older. The old mill, for those that are going to book, when it comes to putting in your credit card expiry date, where it's got the little window for the month and the year, they want a 4-digit year. That set me back a bit for rushing it. Just said invalid expiry date because I'd put in 23 instead of 2023. But I'm pleased to say I have got a booking, and it's actually cheaper than the one last year, where I think we really were down to the last room. So I got a double room this time, as opposed to, I think I got something for somewhat more than and tie in with my daughter for transport and all the rest. Probably be flying into Birmingham again and meet up with her. And David, your shack looks quite cool there with your with what you're wearing. And I've found over the last few days with cables going out of the kitchen window to the dish, just having the window open enough for the cables to get out. It's amazing what difference it makes to the temperature of the place. And on your little bandpass filters, once you got a 3D printer, you have to use it for absolutely everything. So I've now got a on focus. Wow, you get the idea of, you've got a 70 centimeter one and a 23 centimeter one, sort of protected from the elements to some degree. And I did manage, after getting my booking done, to upload the photographs. It's the laptop to the right there is what caused me the problem with the updates and just the time, and you know, it wasn't just a restart. It was messing about with Windows for quite a long time in doing the restart. The kitchen sink, not bar, the kitchen sink, the kitchen sink, the little shelf units. The things are sitting on just to try and double deck things to get more stuff crammed onto that one little bit of workspace. And I should be able to know how to do this. But now that's the beast. That's the 23 centimeter feed, and another angle. Right, it's going off and changing itself now. So that's kept me busy between one thing and another, and it's only when you complete one step that you work out what the next step is and gradually get in there. But there will be a knock-on effect for DATV, and I'll no doubt be looking for more power on 23 centimeters and bands above that, and we'll do that. I don't know if there'll be anybody around at the weekend on 23 centimeters that might be within range of the hills above Belfast. I'd certainly be happy to make an outing if I thought there was any likelihood of anybody being within range. So I think I have the south something or other thingy. What's it on the? All these new names getting into the TV and now AME and all those Zello. I do have ATV South on there as well, so I could certainly go out with the 23 centimeter stuff if anybody thought they'd be within range of Northern Ireland. So enough from me. I need to get on to looking at flights and things like that. I guess when I booked for the GMDX convention in flying to Glasgow, it was the last seat on the plane that morning. So I suppose the airlines are going to keep themselves in sort of under providing just to ensure the planes are full to maximise the profit. Fair enough, you know, it's what they have to do, those airlines that are still going and all the rest. So round to Russ again, G4 SAQ with the group. This is GI4DOH. Good night all.
GI4DOH, this is G4SAQ. I can't believe it. I'm still jerky. I've, you know, after my last over, I shut down the computer and restarted it, and then I went on the satellite on a different frequency and tested, and everything was absolutely perfect. And now it's all gone haywire again. So goodness knows what it is. I don't think it's a Windows update because I did a complete update. I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before actually, so I think the computer's fully up to date. Whatever the reason, it's very annoying. So I'm sorry that that you've got to put up with this jerking around. Yeah, the problem I had with the Windows 11 was that after I'd done the update, there were two issues. First of all, I have on the taskbar, on the right hand side of the taskbar, you have a little icon for the loudspeaker, and my computer offered me the facility when I clicked on that to be able to select the output device, and I've got a choice between various virtual cables, the loudspeakers or the headphones. And that was really handy to be able to click between speakers and headphones particularly. After I'd upgraded to Windows 11, that facility disappeared. and the only way I could switch between speakers and headphones was by reaching down underneath the desk and unplugging the headphones, and that switched to speakers okay, but when I wanted to plug the headset back in, I needed a torch to get under the desk and see where to plug the thing in. So that was annoying, but not really too much of a killer. What really finished it off for me was the fact that I couldn't get the microphone to work properly. And I tried upgrading drivers and couldn't produce any improvement. And in the end, I thought it's just not worth the trouble. So fortunately, I'd got a full backup on a hard drive, and I just wound back to Windows 10, and everything was great until I'm on the air tonight, which is the way that things always are. But there we are. Flights. Well, I booked flights for Dayton, and I think I booked them on the 16th of January, and since then, good old British Airways have made 3 changes to my flights. And the last change they've made is really annoying, because it means that I should be hanging around in Philadelphia for nearly 11 hours flights, and I don't fancy that very much at all. So I tried replying to the email, and of course it bounced. You can't reply to this email. So I tried phoning them, and of course you can't get through on the phone. We're very busy, all our operators are dealing with other callers, please call back later. So I tried 2 or 3 times and couldn't get through. So I shall have another go at them first thing in the morning and see if I can get through, because I found some alternative flights, but I just need someone to change them for me. I'm not terribly impressed, but there we are. That's the way things are. I like those little bandpass filters that were being shown on the air tonight, and I think the one for 23 sims would be particularly useful to me. So I'll have a look on eBay for one of those. And I haven't done any further work on my 2-meter amplifier. I've been rather busy with other things, I'm afraid. Haven't really done any proper radio for a couple of weeks now. But I do have all the bits for my 2-meter amplifier, and I've got space on the heatsink for a 70 sims amplifier as well. So I'm hoping to, once I've got the 2-meter one working, I'll add the 70 sims as well. Right, well that's it. So thank you, Dave, very much for running the net again, and it's round to Charles, G4GUO, to take it from G4SAQ. Just put the test card up.
Right, let's see whether I've got some audio. Right, yeah, got audio. Now we want video. All these bloody buttons. There we go. Oh, there's me. Right, okay. Yeah, I feel your pain there, Russ. My cousin's been trying to arrange some flights for her children. She lives in the States and is over here at the moment. And she's had a family bereavement, and you see, trying to get in touch with British Airways is extremely difficult on the phone. So I have some indirect experience of that. And yeah, okay, John. As far as the loop antenna is concerned, yes, at the moment I'm using a BBW antenna, best bent wire. It's just a bit of wire thrown out the window. It doesn't work too well. I did hear a 5B4 in Cyprus on 28 megs this afternoon, coming in at 5 and 9, working all sorts of people, mainly UK, a few Spanish stations, and a couple of North Americans. So the bands certainly are picking up. I'm not sure what I'm going to use for 10/6. I was thinking of a Moxon antenna or something like that, and I noticed that Wemo or somebody in Germany. They sell a dual band antenna that's a Moxon on 28 megs and a sort of 4-element on 50 megs. So that might be an option, but we'll have to see. I mean, the best antenna, HF antenna I ever had was when I was first licensed. I had a 3-element tri-bander, and that blew everything out of the water as far as performance was concerned. I entered the RSGB 21/28 meg contest many years ago and worked over 1,000 stations in one day, a single operator contest. I never worked as many stations before, and the bulk of those were Japanese stations on 21 megs. So in the mid-1970s, the HF bands were very, very good. What else have I got down on? Oh yeah, Martin, as far as the Morse is concerned, yeah, I can do Morse. Obviously, with the G4 call, I had to sit a Morse test at North Forelands radio. G4AZC is the guy that was my examiner, and he gave me a lift home actually, and we had a car accident. That's another story. But I'm not very good at it. I haven't got the rhythm. That's the problem. But I know a friend of mine who used to work for GCHQ was is heavily into Morse, and he's very good at it. He can obviously he was mainly doing Russian Morse when he was working for them, but still. Well, I just had a spam email to say that I might have inherited millions of pounds. I think that's definitely some crook trying to extract some money out of me or something. And Dave, GKQ, for some reason, every time you come on, you crash Mini Tuner. I don't know why. This has been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's only you that manages to do it. I know you're running the same equipment as some other people. I can't understand why it's only you that crashes it. And last time I had to do 3 restarts of Mini Tuner before I was able to get your picture. So if you want to say something to me, please make it at the end of your over, because I'm unlikely to hear it otherwise. And yeah, okay. Coming back to the HF loop there, John. Yeah, I noticed you posted on Twitter some burst transmissions. Yeah, I've heard those. I thought they might be 3G ALE, but the only waveform that looks like that is the BW4 waveform. You can Google it, and not the traffic waveform. But there's definitely 2 stations talking to one another, because you could see the multipath pattern on the FFT was slightly different. So they're obviously coming over different paths. But I did quite a lot of work on HF modems many years ago, not so much for work. We had clever people with PhDs doing that worked at Marconi Research. I was just on the implementation side, but it didn't mean I got little trips to Sweden and places like that. To there, they used to have a radio school at in sort of middle of Sweden, a place called Östersund, and it's now closed. But it was quite interesting. We were running tests between there and the company that was managing the project in a place called Vecra, which is VAXJO with lots of dots over the top. At Östersund, they're supposed to have the equivalent of their equivalent of the Loch Ness Monster, but we didn't see it. Right, who's next? That's John next. So hand it over to you there, John, and hopefully you all manage to understand the transmission. Right, see if I can coordinate this. I've got too many windows open. Oh, I'm running Windows 10. I haven't gone to Windows 11 yet. So we'll do the trick of sticking the arm up to see when the transmission's ended.
Right, okay. Let's just check the audio. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot I posted that on Twitter earlier. If you look at one of the replies on there, Charles, you'll find a link on there to a really interesting site, which I believe Martin, I can never remember what it's called. It's the chap that used to do the Farnham SDR stuff, has possibly got a connection to. Anyway, his name's mentioned in there, but yeah, the guy did explain what it was. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was now, but anyway, it was something that appeared on 3 or 4 different positions in the HF band, and it was just something I didn't recognise. Yeah, there is shed loads of activity on there at the moment. Can't imagine why. I really can't. But anyway, we can't go down there, can we? What was the other thing? Yeah, the loop on ground. I really can't believe how well it works. It's a 15-foot square length of wire in a box shape or square shape. The diagonal, so if you've got the feed point here, the diagonals here, that's the maximum directivity, if there is any directivity on it. I tried it first off north-south and then changed it to east-west, and east-west obviously appears to be better because there's more people to the east and the west than me. Not so many to the north, or well, it's very south, but not so much to the north. But anyway, it's just super impressed. I was listening to stuff on Top Band. Sorry, I'm not going to go on Top Band, but I was just listening down there, and I could hear stuff on the loop. I couldn't hear on my G5 RV, couldn't hear on any of the mini whips, and it was nice and clean. So yeah, I'm really impressed. I'd say the filters, the 91 Ballon rather. You look online on eBay again. There's a guy. Most people are selling for about a tenner, but there's one guy selling for $6.99 or $6.95 posted. I don't think he's got many left, but ridiculously cheap when you think you're getting an SMA connector, a little Ballon, little binocular Ballon, a couple of little surface mount components, and a PCB board. Yeah, for £6.50 or just under £7 posted. So, but that was that. To Russ, I was going to say, are you using a laptop? But when you said you had to go underneath to change cables, that kind of makes me think you're not using a laptop. Because I actually discovered something the other day. When I came on last, I had all kinds of issues. And the issues were very similar to what you're experiencing, where the video was like, as you're going around, whereas the actual audio was fine. And what it was, I forgot to switch the power supply on. So because the super duper graphics card in this thing needs the power supply to work, if you're running off a battery, it reduces the ability for the graphics card to work. So that was one fault, but I'm assuming you're on a desktop. In which case, if you go and right click, and you probably know this already, but if you right click on the Windows Start button, go to Task Manager. In fact, what I should have done is do this. Screen, laptop, turn that one off, turn that off, turn that off. Right, and burst that across. Right, so if you go to the bottom right hand corner, right click, go up to Task Manager. And if you then go to Performance, you can have a look on there and see, like if you're maxed out, say on the GPU, then something's obviously not right there. Memory, well, I'm always nearly maxed out, I've got so much running. But you can have a look on what processors are or what bits are running. But you can also go on to the processes, and you'll see there. I don't know what that one is. What's that? ATU EXE video encode. Oh, that's I forgot its name. Sorry, it's getting old, isn't it? F1 EJP bit of software, I think, possibly. But anyway, you'll see on there that the things are right. So again, you might find on there something's maxed out 100%, in which case that's your issue as well. So anyway, that might have been useful to some. The other question I had was, how's everyone getting on with Windows 11? Because my thing keeps bugging me to update, and I don't want to. So I don't think I'm going to after tonight. I think I'll just leave it as it is. What else was there? I think that's probably it. I hope to be able to get to Coventry. I did get promised that my weekend activities would stop in March, and seeing as you no longer need PCR tests to confirm that the lateral flow is fine, and the fact that it appears at the end of this month he's going to do away with compulsory staying at home, etc., that kind of suggests to me he's about to wind everything up. So that may well mean I might get my weekends back, assuming my government doesn't find something else for me to do on the weekends instead, which we've had a bit of a falling out anyway over something which I won't bore you with, but I kind of got a iffy feeling he's going to stick me on that. But anyway, that's the earlier. But it does potentially mean I might be able to make it. With regards to hotels, I don't care. I'll sleep in the car. It's only one night. I'm sure there's a local Wetherspoons or something I can probably go and have a quick wash up and brush up in, which I've done plenty of times in the past. So, but anyway, it's for a one-day event. I might just drive up on a day and go back later on the evening, whichever. So, hopefully, I might well be able to make it. Right, with that, I'm going to look at the screen to make sure I've not missed nothing. Windows 11. Oh, Mike's saying Windows 11 is fine. Now I'm confused. So anyway, right, with that, I'm not sure who I'm passing it back over to. It was in the previous one, mine, so I'm guessing it's still going over to mine. So ran to you, G4 FKK, G7 JTT in the group.
Yeah, fine, John. G7 JTT, G4 FKK. Yeah, very interesting net this evening. I'll whiz through my notes. David, YDH, I was glad to hear that your woodworking skills went down well. So I think I did put some shelves up once that Mrs. FKK was quite pleased about. And the 23 Semant looks very good. And I've got some bits to make one of those. I really ought to get round to it, I suppose. Dave, activity weekend. Well, I've got my 2 meter. I don't know if we've ever tried 2 meters. I think we may have done actually from your remote sites. I know I've failed dismally on 70 SEMs with everybody who's ever been on, apart from Gareth. And then I had to run 70 watts for down the road. But 2 meters might be better from here. So I'll make sure I've got some gear ready for Saturday. And Richard, I think Rob, I think he'll be out, M0 DTS. And you might stand a chance on 23 SEMs with Rob from his location. Although I think he was predicting the weather was going to be a bit blustery. So, but keep your ear on Zello, as it were. Mike, your live demo I thought went extremely well. And I wasn't complaining I wasn't criticising the Polycom. I was criticising the lighting in this shack, which is all down to me. I think they're great cameras. I wonder what my hang on a sec. I'm just going to do a quick test. Well, it's not too far out. I wondered if my lip sync had changed with the Windows 10 updates. Anyway, jolly good. Yes, I think they're very good. I've got the 8000 running at the moment as well, but only one camera plugged into it. Richard, I think I can still hear 30 hertz. It's anything much higher than that I seem to be struggling with these days. I used to be known as one of the golden ears at the BBC. In fact, when I was at school, I was known as Fido because I could hear up to ridiculous frequencies. But that seems to have rolled off a bit lately. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how you get on with that big dish. And what was the other thing? Oh no, that was it. Yeah, Windows 11. I've not tried it yet either. Rob says it's fine, M0DTS, but then he's very clever, a lot cleverer than me. And Mike says Windows 11 is fine, and similarly. But I haven't dared to try it yet. There's a few people have tried it and said there are certain things on certain amateur radio apps that I use that are tricky post that update. Charles, yes, I was being rude about the CW. I use a squeeze keyer now because I just can't rattle the key anymore. Yeah, Moxons, I've heard mixed reports about those. I think Gareth's tried Moxons. I think he had some success with them. I think they do have to be very accurately built. And yeah, I remember the 70s on HF. I remember having a QSO with a chap in America on 10 meters, and I was using an OC71. So goodness only knows how few milliwatts that was. OC71 transmitter, that is. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, John. Well, you know, luckily our noble leader says we're all okay now, so no more restrictions very shortly. Anyway, hopefully get your weekends back. That'd be the main thing. The good thing about the Volcano was that they let us fly small aeroplanes into the Gatwick zone, which they will let you do if you ask politely. But on that particular day, it was full of little aeroplanes, including a Balbo from the Tiger Club at Headcorn. And the first day I tried that, me and another pilot, I think I flew up the left runway, left hand, and Roger flew up the right. And we were in formation at 300 feet above the Gatwick runway. And I went there the next day with another non-pilot, but who was a member of our share group. And because his house is in the Gatwick zone, and he quite fancied seeing it. So I asked the air traffic controllers if I could zoom up the runway again, and they said, well, you can, but not below 1,500 feet. And apparently all the neighbours had complained, so that they don't mind jumbos and great big jets flying around, but the Tiger Club, I think, was the last straw for the little aeroplanes. I've got a video of that, but I won't waste your time with that at the moment. So with that, I shall say 73. It's round to you again next, David. So, and I shall look forward to seeing some of you on Tuesday on the HV Net with the CW ident null. Looking forward to seeing that. And hopefully all of you next week as well. See if there's any notes on there. Oh, that's not bad, Gareth. The Dolphin amplifiers there. They're very good. Duncan, I've got a Nokia Dolphin here, and it runs a fairly clean 70 watts of DATV and 200 watts of SSB if you kick it hard. So they're rather good. Oh, you're getting all the takers now, Gareth. Oh, and a quick hello to Lorenzo. Sorry, I forgot to say that, Lorenzo, or in Sicily. Not Sicily. Yeah, the big boot. Right, sorry, David, and to you. M0YDH, Jerry everyone, G4FKK is passing transmission to you.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Mute it. Aren't these things amazing? But yeah, my Ryde died during the G8 GKQ transmission, so I don't know why. Anyway, once I double clicked the quick tune, it was back. Ooh. There you go. Everybody else has been fantastic today. Right. Oh. Well, thank you very much, Martin. That was really good. I was going to say, if you're mending FT817s, my Sota Mountain Goat Jobby here has got absolutely nothing on the display anymore. It's expired. Don't know why. Been reliable as can be. That's going to be a job and a half. It's a very sentimental radio, that one. Come round to me. I'll have a bit of wobbly cam in a minute. Oh dear, chin shot. There we go. So yeah, FT817 has expired, so you can't use it if it hasn't got a display. Richard DOH, that box looks really super. These are about 12 quid, aren't they? Which is fine, and I do use a lot of those filters for 437 MHz all over the show. Transmitting. No, I'm transmitting on Charlotte. You can come on. No, go on. Wife. Yeah, I use those 437 Give that a bit of boost. Oh, there we go. Just going to say the reason I'm going out is that lot over there in the rack, the portable stuff, is a bit derelict at the moment. So there you go. And it needs a bit of tender love and care. I heard everyone. I could hear, but none of my transmissions beyond the range of Cheltenham worked. So I've got to do a little work on that. Okay, that's enough of me. I look forward to going to CAT 22 and driving there, so I won't be doing the hotel. G7JTT, give us a call if you want accommodation and a lift in the morning from here. That would be a possibility. We do hospitality, safer than that. We'll see. Okay, right, I'll lift my hand and turn the right button off and pass it round to G8GKQ and
M0YDH and the net. G8GKQ. Okay, I've turned the audio gain up a bit. I've been playing with audio last couple of days and getting the parts together to build an audio junction box so that I can have a controllable volume for this net and for Skype, because I use the same headphones and USB device for Skype on a different computer, so I'm trying to put it all together. 30 Hertz audio. We came across a similar problem with the repeater controller. It needed an audio signal in the HDMI for the HDMI coder to work, for the stream coder to work all the time. And I put in a low-level white noise, which is a lot less intrusive than 30 Hertz audio. I think the level is still a bit high. I'm looking at taking that down a bit. Martin, an OC71 transmitter. Gosh, that must be, yes, a few milliwatts if you were lucky. I do remember scraping the paint off an OC71 and turning it into an OCP71. But 1.8 megs must be pushing them a bit, I think. Richard, I think your best chance of working anybody is Rob, and it's probably worth sending Rob an email and arranging a sked if you want to go out. Not aware of anybody else who's planning to go to portable, although it'd be great if you could encourage somebody like somebody on Anglesey to go up on Hollywood Hill, or Hollywood Hill, Holyhead Mountain was what I meant. Yeah, the audio is a different setup to the Tuesday night audio, which is another thing I need to look at, Gareth, but thanks for the comment. Charles, if you're back again after the crash, I don't know why it crashes. The actual coder is an Intel graphics processor. So on a Intel i5 laptop, that's the coder, and then it goes into a ports down doing by IP. So I don't know why it crashes, but the solution to the problem, I didn't crash it this time. The solution to the problem, of course, is to use a Ryde receiver. I must admit, I hardly ever turn on a mini-tune receiver on Windows these days. What's an OC71? Get some time. OC171s used to be better at RF, I recall, had metal cases rather than glass cases and actually worked at higher frequencies. But those were the days. Right, without further ado then, I shall call it a day. It was good to have 51 viewers on the stream I saw. And we've had 8 of us on the net, so that's really good tonight. Thank you all for joining. Look forward to seeing you all at CAT on August the 7th, and hopefully work a few of you on Saturday afternoon on 146 or 23. And we will hope Friedrichshafen is on mic, yes. So GHGKQ, closing the BATC net and leaving the frequency clear. Thank you all.
I think so. Oh. Turn that way. Use that a bit. Right. Good evening, Dave, JDKQ. If you are listening, do apologise. 6s and 7s at this end. You did call me in, but I didn't hear my name on the initial list that you said, so I sort of put everything off, and in my wisdom was switching back on when you said you'd leave a pause. Well, the inevitable happened, I'm afraid. Things were not plugged in, this wasn't working, and so on. But we'll try again sometime and see if we can be a bit more successful. Won't detain you. A very good night, everybody. This is G8VZT signing. I can put the test card on, but the one thing that puzzles me with the ports down is that I cannot get audio while the test card's on with the ports down. I'm using the ports down 4. And 1 meter dish I'm transmitting on, and a separate 1 meter dish for receive. A very good night to all, not to prolong the agony, as they say. G8VZT, if anybody is copying me.
G8VZT. G8GKQ with audio feedback. David, thank you very much for coming on. Really good to see you. I'm sorry I forgot to call you in earlier, but thank you very much for coming up. So if you would like, if you want to come on there, please come up at sort of in the 5:10 to 8. And I will put you in the order. But really good to see you on the net tonight. And yes, we will have these issues with turning everything on and getting it right. But really good to see you on, Dave. So G8VZT, G8GKQ, now going QRT.
Transit, put the mute on. Okay, Dave, all noted. We'll try better next time, as they say. A very good night to all. G8VZT.
Sorry, David, I did mean to mention Portsdown does not do sound with the test card. Portsdown does not do sound with the test card out of the box. The only way to do that is to feed it in from OBS or something. So that's the way it was designed from GHGKQ.